Tony Payan is the director of the Mexico Center at Rice University's Baker Institute for Public Policy. I asked him about the global impact of NAFTA and what the first round of talks really did.
During the first round of talks, essentially, the negotiators of the three countries laid out the agenda. The United States obviously put two different things on the table. One of them was that salaries in Mexico were simply too low and they had to rise. That is seen as unfair competition to American workers. And the other one is essentially a defensive move against uninvited guests to the North American Free Trade Agreement. One of them, of course, is China. That is, many companies invested in Mexico is a way to establish themselves within the periphery of the North American Free Trade Agreement territory and thereby take advantage of the American market.
To what extent, if any, do you think a new NAFTA will help U.S. industries, and which sectors and jobs will be affected the most?
Well, I think the automotive industry is key in NAFTA. In fact, I think 54% of all the activity between Mexico and the United States has to do with the automotive industry. Many of the companies come from South Korea. Of course, Japan has a big presence in Mexico. Europe has a big presence in Mexico. So we're talking about a number of automotive industry and auto parts that are going to be deeply affected. Those are the kinds of jobs that President Trump targeted, especially in Michigan, in Detroit, in Pennsylvania, and those are the kinds of jobs that he wants returned to the United States. One other industry that is very important is, of course, Canadian timber, Canadian steel, and Canadian dairy products. Those are also going to be very salient on the agenda.
Will a new NAFTA offer a glimpse into what a new trade deal with China may look like, in your opinion?
Indeed, I think the new NAFTA agreement, especially if it follows the contours of the now defunct TPP, will certainly set a precedent because President Trump has said very clearly that he intends to do away with Chapter 19, modify Chapter 11, and of course introduce other important items like the financial industry and of course national content issues and so on, and those will set precedents. Remember, NAFTA was negotiated 23 to 25 years ago. Those things did not exist. Electronic commerce is one other thing. And obviously, NAFTA may actually, this NAFTA 2.0 version may actually be a modified NAFTA that reflects a lot of the concerns that were included in the TPP, and that obviously should be of concern to China.